I'm Smiley. That's my real name in case. I know a lot of people wonder if that's my real name. That's my real name. I'm Smiley Jr. My late great daddy was Smiley Sr. And our son, who's on right now, he should be on right now, he's Smiley III. So it's a real name. And you know what? I love the name. It gets a lot of things started. But I'm kind of like my life. I traveled around with the power team. We did. You see this bar right here? This bar used to be like a straight bar, and I've been it like this twice around, like a fish, like that. So you can imagine a straight bar, still bar, and I've been it around all the way around twice. It looks like a fish. So that's one of the things we do. We do feats of strength, and I've been able to earn trophies like this, and in my lifetime through bodybuilding and so forth. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about how I've earned those things, how I've earned those things. But my life is a lot like this dollar. Everybody sees this dollar is. It's a $1 bill. How much is a dollar bill worth, right? A dollar bill is worth 4 quarters, right? It's worth 10 pennies. It's worth 20 nickels, right? Or 100 pennies. 10 dimes, rather, 100 pennies. 20 nickels. That's a dollar, right? What happens if we take this dollar and we crumble it up like this? How much is it worth? It's still worth a dollar, right? How much? What if we take this dollar, we throw it down? You can't see, but I'm stopping it right now. It's still worth $1, right? 10 dimes, 100 pennies, and so forth. What if I take this dime and this dollar and I rub it on my armpit, or both armpits, and I take it and give it to you? It's still worth $1, right? You know what? This is a lot how life is to us. Our life, a lot of times life is going to crumble us up, right? Life is going to throw us down and stomp on us, right? Life, a lot of times, is going to make us stink with the stench of life, have a bad smell, right? But how they know that doesn't take away our worth in life? We're still worth the full value of $1, right? Because our lives are worth so much more. There's a study done. Inside our bodies is a chemical called interferon, and it's worth billions of dollars inside of our body. So we're worth a lot more than this dollar. But just because we go through some things in life, guess what? We're still worth the full value of what God has made us to be. So that's what I'm going to talk to you about this morning, today. I know it's late there in India, but I'm going to talk to you today about how to become the champion we were created to be. There's always time to become the champion we were created to be. Let me restate that. It's never too late to become the champion you and I were created to be. You know, in 2017, we started a gym called Smiley Champions Fitness through a lot of prayer and belief system and hiring a coach from Canada. Guess what? Our expectations exceeded themselves. We began to make $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, even $16,000 every month with that gym. Everything was going great. Everybody say great. Everything was going great. Life happened. There was one particular day I got on a deadlift. The deadlift's where you take a bar, you add some, my son right, thanks, right? We add some weight into the bar, and we lift it up, just take it off the ground like so. That's called a deadlift. I had 400, I think it's close to 500 pounds one day. So it was 2017. And I lifted up, and I remember blowing out. I was so excited. I blew out just like that. And something clicked in my head. I don't know what it was. It was a weird feeling. The next morning, I woke up. I could only see out of half of this left eye. And guess what I had done? I had tore my left partially tore my retina in my eye. I mean, that was painful. The process the actual procedure to repair the actual retina was very short. But how they know the process to get through the recovery was painfully long. Why? Because I sat there 16 weeks. It felt like a small twig was in my eye. I couldn't get it out, and I cried all the time. I remember one of my visits, my many 1 week visits to the doctor, Dr. Lars Freisberg. I remember going to him and I said, Doctor, is this pain ever going to stop? He looked at me, one of them, and his doctor friend and the associate was there with him as well. They said, Smiley, without a doubt, no matter how hard this gets, no matter how much it feels, believe me, we service many patients like this. No matter what it feels like, guess what? You're going to get through this. No matter how bad it feels, you're definitely going to get through this. And I feel like somebody today needs to hear that. No matter how hard life gets, no matter what you're going through, no matter how low that we get, guess what? We are unequivocally, we're guaranteed to get through this. How do I know? Because after 16 weeks, my eye began to feel normal. I didn't cry anymore. I cried sometimes. It cries more easier than the right side. But guess what? I know that because I got through that, I can get through anything in life. And you know what? Just because it gets bad, just because it looks dark on the outside, we got to look past that hard time into the good time that we have planned for us. That's how I know. But I want to tell you these things that are going to help us to get to where we want to be the champion that we were created to be. I put together 5 principles. They're called champion principles that help us become the champion that we were created to be. Guess what? They are love, faith, forgiveness, commitment, and sweat. That's Dr. Andrew's favorite, sweet sweat, right? But guess what? I'm talking about the first one. I'll talk about them one by one. Let's go through them one by one. Love. Everybody say love. How do you spell love? L-O-V-E. How do children spell love? Children spell love. We have 4 children. I know a lot of children. But guess what? They spell love T-I-M-E. What are we spending our time with? What are we putting our time in? That's what we know we love. Show me your schedule, your day-to-day schedule, your hour-by-hour schedule. Where you spend time, where you put your time in. I can tell you what you love to do in life. And guess what? That thing that you love is going to either make you or it's going to break you. Make you be the success you want to be, or break you up for being a failure. Break you up for being that success you want to be. But love, I looked it up in the dictionary. What comes to mind when you think of love? It says this: we feel an intense feeling of deep affection. That's what love is. Feeling a deep affection for someone or something. Love is more than just a feeling. Feelings lie to us, right? Feelings are deceiving. We feel one way and feel good one day, next day we don't feel so good. We feel up one day, next day we feel down. But guess what? We can't go by our feelings. We have to make a decision. Everybody say decision. We have to decide every day that we're going to love what we do. We have to decide every day we're going to love our bodies. We have to decide every day we're going to love our significant other. We have to decide every day, because why? If we go by feelings, guess what? At that time it doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel good, guess what? We're going to quit, we're going to run out and let that relationship go. And I don't know, we gotta love daily. We gotta love daily. There's a proverb, a favorite book I have, it's called the Bible. Proverbs tells us this in 10:12. It says, hatred stirs up strife. Strife knows that's confusion, right? That's what hatred does. But guess what? The opposite of that, love covers all sin. So we can get through any setback in life through love, just deciding to love each and every day. Everybody say love. Love is evident not only in our relationship with humans, but also in our relationship with our career, our school, and our hobbies, right? We can excel in each and every one of these because of our choice to love them daily. Those things we love, it's going to get back to us. We put some time into it. And T-I-M-E, put time into it. It's going to give us back what we put into it. We get out of it what we put into it. Somebody said something? You said something, doctor? I thought I heard something. But the first principle is what? Love. L-O-V-E. The first champion principle is love. The second one is what? The second one is faith. Everybody say faith. Faith, F-A-I-T-H. I looked it up. Faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. You know, I had to have faith one day. I've had to have faith a lot of times. But I was having faith. At one point, I had faith in one point I had faith in, somebody said something, I couldn't see what that was. At one point I had faith in myself. I had faith in doing the best as I could. Why? Because I was laughed at one time on stage, and I told you I'm a bodybuilder, professional bodybuilder. And I remember getting up on stage, and I was a little heavy at one competition, one of my first competitions. I came on the stage too early, and I had some bad deposits on the back of my leg. And as I turned around to do the rear double bicep, it's falling right here. I heard somebody laughing. Some judges were right there in front of us laughing and snickering at me. And I knew it was why it was. I was a little chubby, had fat deposits on me. And I used that as not as a chance to lay down and feel bad about myself, but a chance of the catalyst to push me forward to be the best that I possibly could be. And guess what? 6 months later, after working out hard, after working out twice a day, after doing my best, after putting time into my workouts, after visualizing my goals and dreams to be the best I could be, guess what? I got on stage at that next 6 months later, 7 months later, I was 2.8% body fat. I was 198. I wasn't 230 pounds anymore. I got on stage and I made my front whole bicep pose just like that. And I smiled real big. And guess what? By the end of the program, by the end of the show, I was the only one left standing. They raised my hand as the winner, gave me a big trophy. I was a professional bodybuilder. All because I I took faith, I took belief in myself, telling myself that I could do this, telling myself that I could overcome anything. And that's what we have to do in our life too. We have to have faith. We have to have faith, have to have belief in ourselves. Somebody said no, they won't say faith, but maybe you'll say belief. Maybe you won't say faith. Maybe you'll faith. Another word for that is belief. Believe in yourself. So what are the first two principles of becoming a champion? First one is love. Second one is faith or belief. I want to do the third one. Thank you. Third one is forgiveness. Everybody say forgiveness.
Forgiveness.
Forgiveness is what? Forgiveness is the action of forgiveness, a conscious, deliberate decision to release feelings of resentment or vengeance toward a person or group who has harmed you, regardless of whether that person, whether they deserve forgiveness, right? It doesn't matter if they deserve it, right? All that matters, we're trying to forgiveness more about ourselves than about anybody else. If you don't forgive, guess what it's like? I heard the analogy. It's like carrying, guess that person that you don't forgive, no matter how big or how small they are, put them on your back. We carry them around. That's what unforgiveness is like. We carry them around all day on our back. We go to school with them. We go to work. We sit down at our desk with them. We sit down at lunch to eat. We go to bed, lay down with them on our back. You know, we get up out of bed every day. They're attached to our back. How many know that we get tired after a while? How many know that will make us go down to our knees at some point and just give up? And that's what forgiveness is, like a constant tension on our bodies to make us want to not do our best in life. That's what forgiveness is about. So I'm here to tell you, forgive people. You guys have heard in the States here, about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock, right? You've heard that before this past week at the Oscars. Well, guess what? Chris Rock, to be his best, he's going to have to forgive Will Smith, isn't he? Will Smith, to be his best, he's going to have to forgive himself. We don't know all the details of what went on with that and all that, but some forgiveness is going to have to come up at some point. Forgiveness is going to have to come up at some point. Why? Because as I mentioned, we don't forgive. Guess what? We're going to shackle ourselves. We're going to put ourselves in handcuffs and not let us reach our very best. So I want to encourage us to forgive. There's different levels to forgive. I just have to forgive someone in my life, someone very close to me who didn't do the best for me. You know what? I think about it, and I see different things that remind me of the person I continually have to forgive. So what am I saying? There's different levels to forgiveness. Can you say levels? There's different levels to forgiveness, right? But no matter how many levels it takes, it's worth it to get through to forgiveness, to total forgiveness, and be able to free ourselves and surrender ourselves to freedom. You know what? Not forgiving someone, I heard another analogy. It's like drinking poison, putting poison in the water and drinking it and expecting another person to die. That's what unforgiveness is like. You know what? It's not worth it. Hold that resentment, hold that grudge against somebody, hold them accountable for what they did. A lot of times they haven't even remembered what they did to you. We're going around every time we see them or think about them, we feel bad about ourselves, feel bad about what they did, we hate, or we don't feel the best about them. Guess what? They've already gone on and forgotten about it. We've got to forgive ourselves. We've got to forgive them, forgive ourselves, and move on and be the best that we possibly can be. Amen? First three principles are what? Are love, faith, and then also forgiveness. The fourth one I want to talk about commitment. Everybody say commitment. Commitment is what? It's a state of being dedicated to a cause, activity, or etc. You know, when I think of commitment, I think about my late great dad, and my daddy passed 2017, August 2017, right before the pandemic hit, or actually 2019, I'm sorry. And I guess he's so dear to me. I remember at one point in my life, my little brother Chris was rocking in a rocking chair, a little baby rocking chair. He was probably about 6, 7 years old, and he rocked back so far, he fell back. And there was a fireplace with the cement where the fireplace was. He fell back and hit his head and busted his head open. I remember my daddy coming over to him. He came out of the room. I guess he was reading the paper somewhere in the house. And he came to my brother, and he saw Chris crying. He just grabbed his head. He just bawled his eyes out. And you know what my dad did? My dad began to cry as well. He began to just cry, just significantly, just had a lot of tears coming out of his eyes. And he was significant. He was hurt by this situation. And I remember another time my dad was taking my brother Derek to the hospital. he had hit his knee. We were playing football outside in the driveway. He had slid his knee on the carport rail, and he was crying over that. What am I saying? You have to cry to show commitment? No, I'm saying our behavior shows how committed we are. Our behavior shows how committed we are. I remember my parents at one point, they got to split up. We lived here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I lived in the state of Tulsa, Oklahoma. My parents split up, they divorced, and my mom took us back to Houston, where my parents are from. Moved us back to Houston. My dad stayed in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I remember just like a knight shot in the harbor. My dad showed up about 4 months later. It wasn't too long. I don't remember being in school very long up there. Well, my dad showed up with a big U-Haul, and he moved us back to Tulsa to reunite our family. How many know that's commitment? How many know that's commitment right there? We need to be committed, right? You want to be committed to not only each day, but be committed to the minute, each minute of every day. I talked to my dear friend yesterday about evaluating our life after every hour of every day. Evaluate how you did the previous hour. And I always say evaluate after each minute, if you can. Evaluate minute by minute how you're doing each day. That's going to lead us to success. It reminds me of a poem by Dr. Benjamin E. Mays. It's called Just a Minute. Dr. Benjamin E. Mays, Just a Minute. It goes like this. Only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give an account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. You know what? That minute is what we have to take care of. We live life by our details. I'm all about the details. We got to live our life minute by minute, doing the best that we possibly can. And we stack those minutes up. Each minute we stack up, guess what? It's going to make a great week. It's going to make a great year. It's going to make a great life for ourselves. So I want to encourage us to have commitment in our lives. What are the first four of being a champion in our life? It's never too late to become a champion. The first one is love, faith, forgiveness, and the fourth one is commitment. Last one I want to talk about is sweat. Everybody say sweat. The sweet sweat that Dr. Andrew talked about. Sweat is sweet. Once we do it right, we do it enough. Guess what? It's sweet. Because why? It's going to get us to the goals that we want to be. It's going to get us to the goals that we want to be. I heard a story about a boy who was out front in his yard, and he had contacts in his eyes. And he was playing around in the yard, and all of a sudden he looked up and he lost one contact in his eye. And he said, "Oh man, my mom was going to be mad at me. My mom was going to be mad at me. I lost my contact." So what did he do? He began to roll around on his knees on the ground, looking for that contact, a little clear contact. You know how hard it is to find a contact, right? Especially out in the grass and the dirt. He looked around, he couldn't find it. He finally said, "Oh, I'm not going to tell my mom." So he goes inside, tells his mom about the losing his contact. His mom comes out and very patiently looks around for this contact. And after the boy looked around for maybe an hour, mom, after 6-7 minutes, she located that contact. She brought it to rinse it off with a saline solution, put it back in his eye. Boy looked up at his mom and said, "Mama, how'd you find that contact so quickly?" You know what the mom had said? She said, "Son, it's easy. Because you were looking for just a contact lens, but I was looking for $120. How many know that contact, that box of contacts, costs a Bobby $120? So she placed a high price tag on that contact, right? So instead of just looking for a little bitty contact, she was looking for the high price tag of $120. That motivated her to find that contact. Guess what? She found it. What kind of price tag are we putting on our life? What kind of price tag are we putting on the success of our fitness level? What kind of price tag? We got to be serious about our life. We got to be seriously committed to the success of our lives. And that's what I want to talk to us about, the sweat portion of this. Sweat is what? Sweat is moisture exuding through the pores of our skin, typically in profuse quantities as a reaction to heat, physical exertion, fever, or fear. As a fitness coach and a professional bodybuilder, a high school, college, and pro football player, I've seen a lot of sweat in my days, right? I don't want to tell you, sweating, it seems like an oxymoron, but sweating gives us more and more energy. Why? Because it induces the chemical process in our brain called endorphins. When those things get ignited in our brain, guess what it makes us feel? It makes us have a natural high. So we feel like we're on a natural high in life. We feel like we can scale a wall. we can do anything in our life. That's what the natural high does for us. So that's why you see a lot of people working out in the mornings. They get their workout in the morning, very early in the morning, because it puts them on that state of mind where they can get things done. They can be more productive in their day. You know, when there was a journalist, a celebrity journalist called Esther Letter, you might know her better as Ann Landers. In 1955, she was the original social media influencer with a readership of 90 million people rather, in 1955. She said, no one ever drowned in their own sweat. What does that mean? Nobody's going to hurt themselves by sweating, or working hard, by doing the best in life. In fact, the only place where success comes before work is in a dictionary. Work always comes before success. Is that right? Sweating gives us energy. Just the opposite of what we think about. All right, I have a very, very close client. I train her twice a week, and every time I train her, she talks about how great this makes her feel. I can hear her in my mind talking about how awesome it is to do what? To move her body again. How awesome it is to get her body moving again. I've heard this over 32 years of training thousands of clients and groups over the years. I heard that same saying over and over, and how good it feels to move our bodies again, to make our bodies sweat. My mom, she's 70, she celebrated her birthday. I think she's 7. I get it mixed up. 75, 70, I get it mixed up. Sorry, Mom. But you know what? My mom, she still works out. She still exercises. You know why? Even at 70 years old, at 70-something years old, she still exercises. Why? Because she sees the benefit of moving her body. She sees the benefit of moving her body. How many times a day is success? What I suggest, success is going to come to you 2 to 4 days a week, 30 to 40 minutes of moderate exercise. Not hard, intense exercise, moderate exercise. 2 to 4 days a week, 30 to 40 minutes of moderate exercise. It's so true. A little bit goes a long way. A little bit goes a long way. You know what? I'm here to tell you that no matter what kind of schedule you have, no matter how busy you are, you can always find 2 to 4 days of taking 30 to 40 minutes out of our day to get moderately moved. What does a moderate movement mean? Walking. It means riding a bike. It means jogging. It means getting on an elliptical. It means get on the Stairmaster. Just moderately moving, making that move. You're playing basketball, playing outside with your kids. 20 to 40 minutes of this, 30 to 40 minutes of this 2 to 4 days a week. You know what? It's going to get us to where we want to be. You know, when people say that I'm just a big bone, I can't get in shape, that's just not true. Obesity and different things like that go along with it. It may be our tendency, but it's not our destiny. Guess what? We can get through those situations. We get to those situations. Just like in life, we may seem like we're bound to do wrong. We're bound to have bad luck, so to speak. I don't believe in luck. When some people say that, we're bound to just have bad luck in our life. You know, that might be our tendency, but it's not our destiny, man. But I'm here to tell you that what kind of benefits can you get from an exercise? Example of 2 to 4 days a week, 25 to 30, 40 minutes of exercise. These benefits like this: greater energy, a better stamina, better mood, great sleep, greater eating habits, better blood pressure, greater output in life, greater outlook in life even. When my dad as he was getting ready to pass away, we didn't know this at the time, but one of the last things he said to me, if I'd known I'd have just that little time, but I would have put more into it. But I was sitting by one of his visits to the hospital, and he said, one of the last things he said to me was, "Son, take care of your health, take care of your body." He didn't say, son, he was an investment guy. He didn't say, son, make all the money you can. He didn't say, son, buy term, invest the difference. He didn't say anything like that. What did he tell me? He told me to take care of your health. As we take care of our health, guess what's going to happen? We're going to get these benefits in our life. We're going to have these great things happen in our life. I want to encourage you. The 4 things, the five champion principles I mentioned, you remember those? Love, faith, forgiveness, commitment, and then sweat. You know what? I want to close out. I know we're getting close to the end. I want to close out. I haven't done this in years, but one of the features I told you about the bar that we've been. We've been to the bar. We blow up hot water bottles to explode. We take phone books, rip phone books right in our hand, right down the middle. Big, thick phone books. We do all these crazy feats of strength, but one thing we do also, we do push-ups for time. And I'm going to do a set of push-ups. Get somebody, Dr. Andrew can time me. 60 seconds. So TR can time it, my little girl, in time 60 seconds. I'm going to do 100 push-ups. And how many times, how many seconds? 60 seconds, okay? And how many push-ups? 100 push-ups in 60 seconds. How many think I can do this? You guys think I can do this? Let's go for this right now. You guys ready? You got my time, Dr. Andrea?
Yes.
Here we go. You guys know count for me? You ready? And begin. How much time is that?
35 seconds. Oh my gosh. Okay. And
how many is that?
Okay, go. That's stop.
Stop. How many is that? This champion thing wasn't real big to me, you know, wasn't a real big deal. I didn't put a lot into what I lived my life, and a lot of results I have are a result of that. I failed in some areas. How many know we fail sometimes, right? But I have more success than failures. But I can just remember as a youngster playing ball at Mizzou, and we just won our football game against a cross-state rival, University of Kansas. We in the second dinner, I saw in the middle of my mouth. I didn't have enough butter to finish my bread, right? So I called the waiter. I said, "Where can I have some more butter?" I didn't get enough when you brought it out. You brought my steak out. He said, "Young man, this restaurant policy bring out only 3 pads of butter with your meal. I can't bring it anymore." I kind of thought that was funny. I laughed at it and laughed at him. And I said, "So you know who I am?" He said, "No, I don't know who you are, young man. I was about 21 years old, junior in college, doing real well." He said, "I don't know who you are. Who are you?" I said, "I'm Smiley Elmore, Jr. I'm American Gladiators contestant, champion. I'm 5th best leading Russian in the school's history of Mizzou. I'm behind the gold guy named Barry Sanders. I've done this, I've done that, I've done this." I told him. I said, "Did you know that?" He said, "No, I didn't know that." And he asked me a question. He said, "Do you know who I am?" I said, "No, sir, I don't know who you are." He said, "I'm the guy in charge of the butter, and you ain't getting any more." You know what? You know, a lot of us, we think we're a big deal because we can run fast, we think we're pretty, we got this much money, but guess what? We gotta not put so much emphasis into those things and those gifts, but into the gift maker instead. Well, I don't know who you believe in, what your higher being is, but you got to put your trust in that higher being, not in what you have, but in that higher being. Why? Because they continue to shower you with more and more blessings in your life. Take your eyes off of yourself and put them on whoever created you. Amen. So that's what's been a difference maker in my life. And I encourage you to have some kind of champion principle, some kind of champion agenda in your life. Mine is love, faith, forgiveness, commitment, and sweat. Whatever yours is, I encourage you to commit to that, make that a part of your life, spend the rest of your life, make it the best of your life by pursuing those things in your life. Amen. That's my time coach right there. God bless you guys. Thank you.